These were planted in February, I think it was. This is a golden sweet, which is mange tout. It's grown in, sowed inside the greenhouse and then planted out. As you can see, it's taken off really well. It's delicious in soups, and it's got pretty purple flowers along with Kruby de Massan, which isn't as sweet, but it's got purple flowers in it. This is a mix of Hearst green shaft and douce de Provence, which are grown for the green peas, in the deep podded peas. And this is douce de Provence as well, which put out much earlier than the ones over there, and they're filling up nicely now. They're still not ready yet. They needs to be fatter than that. But as you can see, it's a shorter plant. It has white flowers, unlike the purple flowers. But I haven't yet found a purple flowered pea that has nice green peas inside. Oh, here's one ready for that's just right for picking. Let's open it up. Remember, it's early days, so you're not going to get the yeah, look, you haven't got very many peas in there. That's the first pod off of those plants. It's late May, so there's only 4 in there. I'll give you a quick taste. Very sweet. So these will come out much later, and they're, as you can see, they've got white flowers. So they are pretty, but they're not as pretty as the purple flowered ones. And it's some more douce de Provence. So you don't get very many peas in the pod, and I think it's because these are in a bit of shade. They're a bit shorter. Well, they're a compact plant anyway. I think they're quite pretty, tasty. They don't have many peas in the pod. Well, not when compared with Hearst green shaft, but they're earlier. We'll see how we get on this season. But in the next couple of weeks, there should be a lot of peas coming out now. Then I've come up to the allotment. The allotment's the part of the well, it's my garden where the main crop is, onions, potatoes, beans. So the things that aren't finicky require lots of attention. They're in the back garden. So when I get home from work, I can get working on keeping them alive. But up here, things are hardier, things like onions and kale, things like that. It's this time of year where a lot of well, quite a few YouTube gardeners start to give up the ghost when it comes to with their allotments, because this is when the mare's tail, the couch grass and the bindweed starts coming up, taking over. So you've got to be, it's now that you've got to get on top of it. Of course, I'm finding it difficult, but I'm adamant I'm going to get a crop. So what I do now is use quite quick crops. So new potatoes. So we've got new potatoes over there. Things like, if they're overwintered, garlic's quite quick. So over winter there won't be any weeds, and there'll be about like 3 months of weeds, and then you'll dig them up in early July. So you can dig it over and get all the perennial weeds out. Things like shallots, onions, all this sort of stuff, really quick. So we've got shallots in here, and what I do each year is I don't apply fertiliser or manure or compost. It's all closed loop. So I use so over winter I've got, and some parts in summer as well, I do green manures, and then I take all the grass from the paths, rip it up and use it as mulch, which is what we've got here. And the mulch feeds, I mean, the mulch works particularly, the grass mulch works particularly well with things like garlic and things like that. So some early potatoes, early or second early, I can't remember. But but yeah, when I dig these up in June, end of June, July, I'll be able to get all. When I'm digging up, as I dig up the potatoes to harvest, I'll be digging up the mare's tail. That's mare's tail there, you see, and which is a vicious perennial weed. Well, vicious, it's not. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's terrible for your garden though. The same goes July. These garlics will be coming up. Most of this is saved garlic, so I'm trying to increase the size of my garlic. So and again, we're using grass and comfrey and stuff as a mulch to fertilise the garden. As you see, there's nothing wrong with the size of these garlics, and hopefully we'll get a good harvest. We did last year, and this area hasn't been manured for 3 years, or had fertiliser on it or anything like that. So we're working on it's like an engineering closed loop system. But got some. These onions are doing well. These are mammoth onions from Robinson's. They were planted in March under fleece, and they're bigger than all the rest. So it just goes to show that this is that sort of Charles Dowding method of putting sort of 3 in each station, foot apart. But I use grass mulch. I don't compost it. And it's there's no harm done to those onions, as you can see at this stage of the year. We'll see how what sort of harvest we get. Dotted around there's little bits of green manure, and I'll be either using these for seed or chopping them every now and again for mulch. These are potato onions, which is basically a shallot that's really big from America, and I'm going to thin these out each station to 3 or 4 and watch them grow big. And they do grow bigger. They're probably about a third bigger than Golden Gourmet, which is our English biggest shallot. And we've got some mammoth leeks. Again, there's no compost or fertiliser. There was compost here because it's pretty much a new bed early last year. Didn't put much on, probably about 40 litres for every 2 square metres, something like that. So about this much over to there per bag of compost. So it hasn't had any new stuff on there. It's just had green manure over the winter and the mulch this year. It was under fleece, but a lot of things got battered because we did have snow in March, etc. These are Babington leeks, and hopefully that seed head should have little bulbils in there as opposed to seed, as opposed to flowers and seed. Hopefully that'll be the case. So if that is, they were sent to me by Pennard Plants, quite expensive, but I should be able to. Basically, you'll get little sets at the top here, which you can replant. That's the idea, anyway. With they're not massive massive leeks, but they are fun. More shallots. Now this is mare's tail. All this needs digging out. There's some green manure. So you've got to wear down the mare's tail and the couch grass and all the rest of it. It will take a couple of years to do it in. So we've got pretty productive areas like this, which is used to be as thick with mare's tail as it is over there. So it's only digging that does it, in my opinion. Other people say it's plastic does it. No, digging. But it will still come back, and you just got to keep digging. So if you do, like I said, quick cropping plants like potatoes, you not only does potatoes improve the soil, but it means that you're every time you dig it to put the potatoes in, you hill it up to make the potatoes good, and you dig them out to get the potatoes, and that means all the time that you're pulling out the perennial weed roots. So it's good for you, it's good for your garden to grow potatoes. Anyway, that's my they might do a little bit on digging out mare's tail, but yeah, that's the overview of the allotment. These two beauties are Violetta de Bococci artichokes, Italian artichokes, so early purple. So let's see how they get on. I've planted these, I think, January in seeds indoors and nursed them to this point. Let's see if they survive. Anyway, yeah, so that's them planted. I planted them with all the soil that was in their pots as well to give them a head start. And we'll see how they get on now. I thought I'd do a quick show you quickly how to what mare's tail looks like underneath the ground. So of course all of this greenery comes up in the late spring, summer, but under, you know, when most people are digging is in the winter. So so you won't see the greenery, so you won't know what the root is. So if I dig a little bit, you'll be able to show you what the root looks like. What I do is dig sort of little channels, because I'm interested in green manuring. So most of the time I want to dig in the weeds and things like clover, but this is so that. I hope it's focused properly. That is the weed of the mare's tail, the root of the mare's tail, and that's called, a lot of people call it black roots. That's what we're digging up. You've got to dig every bit up. Every bit up that you can, and that'll weaken it. It'll still keep coming up, but it'll come up less and less. And I've already dug this. I dug this in the winter. Took all the roots out so that I could plant peas, which I planted early and was killed in the cold weather I had in spring. So this has already had all the roots, you know, in winter. This last winter, it's already had all the roots taken out. So it shows how pernicious the weeds actually are. Well, that didn't take too long. I'd say about 15 minutes to do that area, and taking out a lot of mare's tail. a little bit for mulch, and a bit of bindweed. Bindweed particularly likes paths, so if you have permanent paths, you may find you have to dig them every now and again, because I use it as bases to sort of take over the rest of the garden. But anyway, so that's that. I think some beans will go in here, and I think that's it for today. The sun's going down. Well, the sun's not going down, but it's evening, and I think that's my my bit of gardening done for today. So I shall see you all. See you all another time. Right, cheers, Em. Ta-ra.